Hey everyone, welcome back to Wizarding Alice. My name is Alice and welcome to what I believe will be the first installment, the first proper installment of my bucket list series. If you haven't seen the introduction video, I will link that below where I kind of talk about what the series is going to be, what's on my bucket list. But long story short, I have created a bucket list for myself of everything I want to do while I'm alive, while I'm young preferably. And this is the first installment of me actually doing one of those things, which is crazy, and I've definitely not started with an easy one, so I'm kind of terrified, but I am going to be swimming with sharks. I am scared, but excited at the same time. I don't know. This is actually, I think you're going to end up seeing this March, April 2023, which is crazy because as I film this segment, it is July 2022. This is a long time in the making, but I wanted to film the intro now while I'm booking the experience to kind of get my first reactions, first thoughts, what I kind of want to get out of the experience, why I'm booking it, all of that kind of thing. And then this video will rejoin my future self in when is it? September 2022 is when I am going to be doing the experience, but I'm not going to edit and upload it until 2023 because I want this series to start in the new year and all that. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I am going to look different throughout this video is what I'm trying to say, because it's going to span basically a whole year. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be swimming with sharks. Why did I put this on my bucket list? Why did I choose it first? I didn't really choose it first, to be fair. It all just kind of fell into place that I could go and do this in September. So I thought, you know what, this can be the first one. But I want to swim with sharks, not because I'm like obsessed with diving. I've never dived in my life. I'm obsessed with sharks. I'm terrified of sharks. It's not like a nice casual swim with dolphins, give them a little pet as they go past. No, the reason I want to swim with sharks is because I am terrified of sharks. And I'm also terrified of open water, I should say as well, even though this is in an enclosed space. I want to face my fears. I want to push myself and really prove to myself how far I can push myself. I think I have a tendency to really stick into my comfort zone. Like, I'm a homebody. I could happily spend my whole life sitting in my pajamas, eating a takeaway in front of the TV, which I'm happy to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to do that. But I want to be able to push myself that bit further and really just show that I can overcome my fears and I'm more than a homebody. So I think this is a great one. I think I'm going to be terrified while I do it, but I think I'm going to feel amazing once I've done it. It's like what they say about skydiving, like you hate it in the moment, but after you've done it, you're so glad you did it. And that's what I'm hoping I'm going to feel with this one as well. So how it's going to work is I'm going to book it with Deep Sea World, which is in Fife. It's just across the Firth of Forth from me. It's about like a 45-minute drive away, so it's not too bad. And it's literally an aquarium. So they've got one of those, tunnels that you can walk through with the aquarium going over. That's where I'm going to be diving with the sharks. So I looked it up. There's obviously a whole load of creatures. I'm going to be swimming with lots of fish and starfish and things like that, but the big ones is eagle rays, which I'm a little scared of as well, but I'm going to try and just ignore them, and the sand tiger shark, which is the main shark that they've got in there. Not just sand tiger sharks, giant sand tiger sharks according to the website. So fantastic. I looked them up. They're kind of terrifying looking. I think they might be the scariest looking shark that there is. Their teeth literally protrude from their mouths. Okay, great. And their eyes are so menacing, but I looked it up and I've written it down. It says they are docile, non-aggressive species of shark, known to attack humans only when bothered first. So let's focus on that first part. Docile, non-aggressive species. Fantastic. I can just sit there and watch them pass by and they'll just leave me alone. But second part, known to attack humans only when bothered first. I don't know what bothered means, but I would imagine 3 people jumping into their home and like swimming around them is bothering. So we'll see. I am looking at the full terms and conditions. Yeah, I mean, it does make me feel better. I know that they're professionals. They wouldn't put me in with giant sand tiger sharks unless they knew it was going to be safe. So, you know, I'm being dramatic. I know it's going to be fine. If I do lose an arm, what a freaking cool way to lose your arm. So yeah, I mean, I do feel nervous about it. Obviously, reading stuff like that is very scary, but it does put me at ease a bit reading these terms and conditions. You also have to complete a medical questionnaire to make sure that you can actually go in. And if you answer a certain way to certain questions, you have to give this note to your doctor. It's all very intense. I think all things considered, I'm fine. I don't have any like medical things that I need to worry about, but it is very intense. But at least it shows that they're taking it seriously. I would rather that than them just being like, yeah, just turn up.
A few moments later.
Guys, I've booked it. It's done. Please see below for your booking confirmation for your shark encounter experience. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, that's the medical form talked about. I had a read through. I don't think I really need to do it. I think I will answer no to all the questions, so I don't need to like speak to my doctor or anything, but oh my god. Okay, so I'm just doing it by myself. You can either do it yourself or you can bring one other person with you. You can't do like a big group, but I'm just going to do it myself on the 10th of September at 3 p.m. I think I'm going to bring my mum and maybe my brother and my dad with me. I don't know. We'll see like who's available. My mum's definitely going to come. And we'll have a look around Deep Sea World first while I absolutely crap myself thinking about it, and then I will go and do the shark diving at 3. The good thing is, I think from the looks of like the agenda for it, I'm not actually going to be in the tank until about 4, which is when the place closes, so I should have the whole thing to myself and my mum can like freely film me in the tank and stuff, so that should be good. But it did say this COVID stuff, just ignore that, about bringing additional people, what should I bring, all that kind of thing. Yeah, that says like we can go in before 3. Oh, doors close at 5, never mind, but doors close 1 hour beforehand. So yeah, it should be like, you know, quiet-ish, if not all to ourselves. But yeah, so that should be good. I don't know, my brain's kind of mush knowing that I've actually done it. I didn't think I actually expected myself to book it, but I've done it, I've paid, so I'm going. If I've put money in it, it's happening. So yeah, exciting experience. I think the next time you'll see me will be in September when I'm actually doing it. So I'll see you then, I guess. Just know I've been worrying the whole time until the next clip. Okay, it is the day of the shark diving. I can't believe I'm saying that. Time has gone by very, very quickly, and I'm leaving in half an hour to go. It takes about an hour to get there. It's 1:30 at the moment, and then my shark diving starts at 3. I feel excited. I feel nervous. I feel like I'm gonna throw up a little bit. I'm kind of regretting all of my life choices that's led me to this moment at this point in time. I know I'm gonna have a good time. I know it's gonna be really fun. I think I'm just at the point now where I'm like, what have I gotten myself in for? I'm wearing tight clothes, I've got leggings on, I've got a t-shirt that I'm apparently gonna wear underneath my dry suit and everything, so I'm good to go. I'm just bricking it a little bit. I phoned yesterday and asked a little bit about the process, and unfortunately I'm not allowed anyone behind the scenes with me. I'm not allowed to like have my camera or anything, so once I'm in, I'm not going to be able to film anything, and I will pass filming responsibilities over to my mother, who will film from the tunnel side of things looking out. So we'll see what kind of footage I get for that, and then once I'm done I will fully, you know, explain everything that happened and maybe try and do some reenactments here and there and put footage in and stuff like that. But yeah, this is pretty much the last you'll see of me before I've swum with sharks and while I've still got all my limbs. Okay, bye. Okay, I am back home. I have officially swum with sharks or dove with sharks or whatever you want to call it. I can't believe it. I'm here in my gym jams, all cozy, all warmed up because I was freezing afterwards. I think it was a come down from the adrenaline and the fact that the water was very cold. But as I said, I wasn't able to get a lot of footage before I got in the pool, so I thought I'd talk you through what the process was. But there is footage of me diving and all that coming up, I promise. I do have footage of that, but just to kind of set the scene, I went backstage, I met the people we were going to be diving with. There was one other person who was also diving like as a guest, and then we had the two professional divers because it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. I signed a couple of forms, and then we sat down and we got shown how the scuba tanks worked. The route we were going to be taking like went through so much stuff. Then we had to take a little exam, but it was literally just a tick box exercise, and as long as you listened to what he said, you were going to be able to answer all the questions. So once we'd passed that, we got our wetsuits put on, or they were dry suits actually if we're being pedantic. They were not fun to get on. You have to have a lot of body strength and they really help you, but yeah, it's pretty intense getting all that gear on and making sure it's really tight around your neck so no water gets in, things like that. So that probably took up like the most amount of time, was getting our wetsuits on, or dry suits, sorry, I keep calling them wetsuits. Then we got in a little pool. It had a couple of fish in, but the fish just minded their own business. And we got our masks put on and fitted to our face, and our breathing equipment, which you just like bite on a mouth guard like that. And that keeps like your mouth is in a position where no water is getting in, you're just breathing the air in and out of that. And the mask like completely restricts breathing through your nose, so you can't breathe through your nose at all, so you have to use the mouthpiece. And then we just sort of practiced going under the water in that little pool. You could just kneel in it, it wasn't like very deep or anything. Like it, when I stood, it went up to my waist, and I'm 5'4", so I'm not particularly tall or anything. So we just practiced breathing. That was so weird. When I first got in the pool, like, you obviously, your instinct is to hold your breath, so to actually take that the first breath out was okay, but to breathe in again felt so weird. It was a little bit claustrophobic. I did feel a bit panicky at first, but you spend so much time in that little pool just practicing that actually by the end, by the time you're ready to go into the pool, like, you kind of know what you're doing. Then we had to pass a couple of little tests as well. So the first one is what to do if your mouthpiece falls out your mouth, which is to hold it upside down, breathe out, put it back in, press a button to sort of push any air out. That was really easy. And you get as many goes at it as you need. The second one was if it falls out your mouth and it sort of drifts off. It's obviously attached to your thing, but how to like find it and put it back in your mouth, because they just don't want you to panic, because it's very easy to find, but if you're panicking flailing around, you're never going to get it. The third one was what to do if water goes in your mask, which was you had to like tip it a certain way to kind of get water out as well. So it took me a couple of goes, it took the other women a couple of goes, but we got there in the end. And once you pass them and you're happy and comfortable and you don't want to like re-practice anything, then you finally get in the tank, and that is where my narration and footage begins. Okay, so in this first clip you can see that one of the professional divers is looking under the water, and I then join him just to get used to the feeling of the water, and I do a little wave to my mum and dad, who I can see as well, although I didn't know it was them. I wear glasses, I couldn't wear glasses with the goggles, had no idea who I was looking at. But yeah, he was just looking out for sharks. The sharks apparently don't bother you, they didn't bother us, they're not particularly interested in you, but apparently if you do, you know, just like jump in when the sharks are around, they get a bit agitated, so we were just making sure there was no sharks around before I was able to descend the ladder, which is what I did next. Basically, you descend a rung and then you have to hold your nose and blow out to kind of like pop your ears, and you have to do that each rung just to get used to the pressure. I was able to do that no problem. We didn't even practice it, we just did it and it was absolutely fine. Obviously if you were feeling any kind of pain in your ears, you just let them know and go up and kind of do it again a bit slower, but that was totally fine. And then I touched down on the ground, which was very exciting. I was in a cage with fish and sharks. It was insane. If you're wondering what it felt like, It felt incredibly surreal. It felt to me like I was in the tunnel because I was wearing so many layers and had these big goggles on and everything. I didn't feel like I was actually in the water with what I was seeing. It felt like I was in a separate zone. So I didn't feel scared of the fish or even the sharks at all, like not a little bit. It just totally felt like I was watching them on a screen or something. It was so bizarre. I'm sure if I was just like wearing a swimming costume, I'd feel totally different. From there, we started our walk around the aquarium. We could only walk, we couldn't swim. We had weights in our pockets. It was so hard to walk. You'll see I'm walking like I'm on the moon. I had to kind of use the rocks to drag me along a little bit. It was so hard to walk. Not that they were expecting you to walk faster than that, but let me tell you, they weighed you down because the scuba gear was crazy heavy and the weights they put in your pocket and stuff was really heavy, so it was quite difficult to move. From there, we had our first shark encounter, if you want to call it that. What the diver is signaling there is that it's a very small shark. So that was pretty cool, and it was quite nice to have our first shark encounter be a little one that you knew like wasn't going to cause you much damage. But that was really cool, and I'm glad he pointed that out. We then got a chance to kneel down and take some photos. We got a couple of opportunities to do this. Again, I was just waving to any old person I could see because I had no idea who was who. Everyone was a blur. But yeah, it was nice that you got lots and lots of opportunities for the people in the tunnel or whatever to take photos of you and stuff like that. Loads of opportunities. Then we managed to get closer to the sharks as we were getting more into their territory, I guess. They had certain parts of the aquarium apparently that they like to hang out in. Again, I didn't feel threatened by them. They didn't really come anywhere near us, apart from at the very end, which I didn't get footage of because I was kind of like the other side, but it literally went over my head like that. It was crazy. But by that point, I was so chilled out about them that I just thought, this is cool. I wasn't thinking like, oh my God, there's a shark coming towards me or anything like that. It was just a really cool experience. There were 2 points where there was a low wall that you had to kind of jump over to get to the other side. The 2 divers were not weighted down, but because me and the other woman were, we literally couldn't have jumped. Like, we were so laden down with things. So they kind of had to haul you over, as you'll see in the clip. I did not have a graceful go of it. This was the first one. I did better in the second one. I was a bit more graceful. But yeah, I kind of had to be hauled over the wall. Then there was, I suppose, the most shocking and dramatic moment, which was being attacked by a stingray or just a manta ray. Not really. It kind of just went like really close and it came from behind me, so I wasn't expecting it, and I just saw this really flat face right in front of me, so I kind of reacted a little bit because we were told so much like do not touch the animals, so I was just really trying to stay out of its way. But that was a really cool experience. We then had an opportunity for our final photo ops, which is where we got some really good ones because we got to get really close to the glass. Couldn't think of the word. At that point as well, they turned the moving escalator thing off that you go around, and the only people in the tunnel were the spectators, so they had more room to like get really close to the glass and stuff, which was cool, and is maybe why I'd recommend the later session rather than the one at 1. Do the one at 3 just because they were able to get that experience. And finally, we ascended our way back up the ladder. We didn't have to do any of the breathing or anything. We were able to just make our way up, walk back through to the little pool that we started in, managed to take all our stuff off, had a quick little debrief, and that was it. It was crazy. It was over so fast. We were in there for about 20 minutes out of a 2-hour experience. And honestly, as soon as I was out, I just wanted to get back in again. And that was the whole experience. Over and done with. It was over in a flash and it took ages at the same time. It was this weird time warping experience. I honestly had the most amazing time. I was so nervous, not to be TMI, but I did dry heave at one point. That's how scared I was. I literally I thought I was going to be sick. I dry heaved. But no, it was amazing. I was made to feel so safe and comfortable, and I knew at any point I could stop or get out or ask a question or anything like that. Like, I didn't feel worried about doing that or anything because the divers were so great at just making you feel as comfortable as possible and as knowledgeable as possible. I had a really, really positive experience. I loved being in the shark enclosure so much. Like, honestly, I would do it again tomorrow if I could. Like, I definitely think I want to do more of these experiences because I loved it so much. And once I got used to the feeling of breathing through that apparatus, I thought I wasn't going to like it, but actually once you got used to it, it was okay. I definitely want to do it again. That is not going to be my last diving experience, that's for sure, because I just had such a good time with it. So yes, I am so proud of myself. I'm so glad I did it. first proper thing ticked off the bucket list as well, which is crazy exciting. So who knows what's going to be next on the list of things I'm going to experience. I think I already know, but you never know. So yeah, keep an eye out for more of these bucket list videos in the future. But with that, I will bid you adieu. I did get a certificate at the end, but my mum and dad very kindly bought me a souvenir in the gift shop. I've called him Bruce to commemorate the experience. So from me and Bruce, we will see you next time. Bye.